to take the next step and put himself in the mix of welterweight contenders, but the rugged and seasoned Jesse Feliciano has other plans. Delvin Rodriguez came to this country from the Dominican Republic at age 9. Now as a 26-year-old, he has matured into a well-rounded success story. Delvin the Destroyer has been tearing through opponents, scoring 11 knockdowns in his last 7 fights. Most of them jaw-droppers, like in June 2005, when they got up off the canvas in the first round to swarm Chris Henry with 4 straight knockdowns. The offensive onslaught earned a TKO win. 2 months later, here at Foxwoods, he was facing 22-win veteran Luther Smith. Not even one full round in, and Smith was taken off on a stretcher. Then last year, he earned his 10th straight win and perhaps his most complete performance. Luis Hernandez went the distance with Paul Williams, but crumbled under Delvin.
You don't expect the guy, especially when you're fighting the guy that you've seen that hasn't gotten knocked out like that. And you all of a sudden touch him with the right hand. That's the way it feels, and all of a sudden he's in the floor. So to me, it feels like a magic trick.
Delvin is now one of the trendy picks as a fighter to watch. He has joined a group most view as being right on the cusp of breaking through to that next level.
Where I go now, many people come up to me, you know, they're starting to recognize me. They're starting to hear my name more often. So it's a great feeling. It feels like, you know, all that work that I've been doing, all that hard work is coming, it's paying off.
As much as Delvin is the favorite fighter, there's no looking past Jesse Feliciano. He's as tough comes and committed to the cause like any aggressive-minded warrior. Just ask Vince Phillips. The former world titleist thought he could finish out his career on a high note against Feliciano. Instead, Jesse put forth a non-stop effort that wore down and simply outworked Phillips through 10 rounds. Then last May, he was picked for a big Vegas fight night against Contender Season 1 star Alfonso Gomez. It was a fight that took a lot out of both men. In the end, Jesse seemed to have more, but the scorecards read a draw. Now both men feel they have the fight they want right in front of them, an opportunity for each style to excel.
I'm pretty sure he thinks this is the best fight of his life because, you know, everybody's trying to use me as a measuring stick, but I'm not going to be a measuring stick tonight.
And this guy he comes forward. I mean, that's all he does. He comes forward. Is he going to be able to take 3 or 4 of my punches when I put my combinations together? I don't know that. I doubt it. So we'll see tonight.
You think they're psyched up to see Delvin Rodriguez? The fans here, the Dominican flags, the Connecticut natives, they have traveled over from Danbury, Connecticut, here to Foxwoods on the eastern side of the state. And Jesse Feliciano is the target. He's stronger and more productive now that he's moved up to welterweight. Checked in right at 147. He's earned every ounce of a 14-5-3 record. The list of his 5 losses, it reminds you to never take too much away from a fighter's record. Split with Gomez, losses to Olympic gold medalist and Abdullayev, top prospects Arna Udis and Diaz. Then his last fight against Demetrius Hopkins, his last loss against Demetrius Hopkins. He is proven and tested. Tall fighters generate power, and such is the case for Delvin Rodriguez. 6 foot tall, only 145 pounds, wiry, lean, effective. 21-1 as a pro. The lone loss split decision years ago to fellow prospect Andre Eason. Delvin was lingering in his career. Then he hooked up with a new manager, new trainer, and since then he's won 9 straight, 7 by knockout, 1 by DQ because an opponent chose to run instead of the eventual KO. The expectation for this is to be action-packed. But what's the strategy that will serve each man best? Teddy Atlas has the fight plan.
To help me do the demonstration tonight, I'm lucky enough to have John David Jackson, former middleweight champ of the world, now one of the top trainers in the business. Thanks, John, for being with me. John's going to play Feliciano. I'm going to play Rodriguez. Now, Feliciano, a get-in-your-face kind of guy, no introduction needed. He's going to come right out at Delvin Rodriguez. One of his problems, when he jabs on his way in, he lays on the right. And when you jab and you lay on the right, you leave yourself open in that path for the right hand. I think the key here is not the right hand. That's going to land by Rodriguez. Will he come back with the left hook and finish the job? Look for the right hand all night and look for the left hook to finish the night. All right, for Feliciano to have success tonight, we already talked about Rodriguez. His success will lay in the right hand and then finish him with left hook. Feliciano, he's got to get away from the right hand of that man, Delvin Rodriguez. So when Feliciano does come in, jab and slip over here to this side, instead of laying here and eating the right hand, which Rodriguez is going to look to make sure he eats, he's got to weave back underneath that right hand and finish over here where he's in a good, safe place, and he can land the left hook. Don't forget, Rodriguez has been dropped with a left hook.
Serious talent there for the fight plan, and a serious crowd here at Foxwoods to see Delvin Rodriguez. Charlie Dwyer, the New England veteran referee, the third man inside.
Okay, shake hands, good luck.
Scheduled for 12 rounds, a minor title's on the line. The ring experience brought to you by Just for Men Hair Color. Both men have had 22 pro fights. Feliciano has faced the far superior competition, and because Delvin has knocked out so many opponents early, 51 fewer pro rounds than Feliciano. Round number one, both men wearing red trunks with white trim. Delvin Rodriguez in the black shoes, Feliciano in the white shoes.
I like both these kids. They're great kids. Feliciano because of his real Spartan warrior attitude, always coming forward, always making for great action. And Rodriguez, a quiet kid, and a kid who I think is really on the rise. A kid who's a good offensive fighter and a sharpshooter. Very accurate with his punches, doesn't miss much at all, and he puts punches together very well.
So impressive to see the highlights of his recent knockout victories on our air. We didn't even show you what happened back in August of 2004 when he sent Alan Conyers, who was 8-0, right through the ropes scoring a knockdown, sent Conyers right to the concrete out of the ring, a la Dempsey Furfunk.
Rodriguez is very patient until he gets an opportunity. Then he's not afraid to put them together, and as I said, a sharpshooter. Feliciano trying to show a little wrinkle, something that Rodriguez did not expect. You heard it before in the video when Feliciano was talking, and then when you saw Rodriguez talking, he said, hey, Feliciano, not hard to figure, he's going to come right at me. Well, Feliciano trying to mix up Rodriguez a little bit and send him cross signals. Trying to box a little bit, look for the right place to come in. Using his legs, using the ring a little bit. Not something you see Feliciano do too often.
Something that his trainer, manager, father, Tony Feliciano, wants to see more of. Dad says sometimes he pleases the crowd too much.
Well, he's known as a walk-in, can't miss him sort of guy. And again, he's trying to make sure that he finds the right key to the door. He knows that Rodriguez is a very efficient offensive fighter. If he just walks in, he's going to eat some good leather. So he's trying to find the right time and the right place to come forward. That's why you're seeing all this lateral movement, some thinking, some negotiating by Feliciano.
See the hand speed of Rodriguez and that one glimpse right there.
Always looking for a window to sniper through is Rodriguez. And he is a sniper offensively.
Great description of him. That is exactly what he is, a sharpshooter. And he comes with that very fast and solid right hand.
He's looking for the window. Feliciano trying to make sure he does not open that window. You can see Rodriguez waiting for the counters, waiting for the moment.
End of one at Foxwoods. 26-year-old Delvin Rodriguez, who moved to the United States from the Dominican Republic at age 9. His parents actually left him behind in the Dominican Republic with family as they went to find a better life for their family in the United States before bringing Delvin over. He has matured, he's a likable young man, and he has become one of the trendy picks as a fighter to watch. You're watching him right now against the always excited Jesse Feliciano, round number 2. See if Feliciano, Teddy, stays to that form of trying to box a little more.
Well, his nature is to come forward. His nature, his temperament is to fight. That's going to show itself, believe me, sooner or later. Right now, Feliciano is serving himself fairly well by covering up as he comes in. He just blocked that right uppercut attempt of Rodriguez by covering up under his chin a little bit and by moving laterally, trying to find the right time to come in, hoping that Rodriguez will not be set. But there's that right uppercut. Look for that right uppercut. Look for counters. Rodriguez, the sniper that he is allowing Feliciano to do a lot of his work for him. He's allowing him, Joe, to come in to a good distance where Rodriguez at the right time can counter him, can pot shot him. And Rodriguez is very comfortable with the overhand straight right and also with the right uppercut. Either one can and has been effective early on with Feliciano. Feliciano will come straight in. The straight right hand or the right uppercut will find its mark and has found its mark early on.
Feliciano, born in Los Angeles, raised in Vegas, and excited to fight here on the East Coast, although he told us earlier tonight that he was greatly affected by jet lag. Flying west to east, he came in late Wednesday night.
And that can affect him as the night goes on, especially if it's a fast-paced night.
Most of his fights at 140 pounds, but we saw him go to 147 last spring. He was so very impressive in such a brutal war against Alfonso Gomez. That was the kind of fight, Teddy, I recall both of us saying, boy, both guys need to take some time off right now. Feliciano did so for unfortunate reasons. He said he struggled with hand injuries in the course of the past year.
Yeah, Feliciano, a 10.5-month break, and you said it very well. In this case, I think it served Feliciano after a couple very tough fights. He needed a rest. Again, right there, throwing that left hand and laying a little bit on the right. That can be dangerous, and Rodriguez just missed then, a little over-anxious with that right hand when he saw that opportunity.
Coming to the end of this second round, a second round highlighted by Delvin Rodriguez's uppercut.
My cord sedan makes perfect.
Action from the last round. When you come straight in, an uppercut can be very effective. Rodriguez used that punch very well in the last round.
Round number 3, Delvin Rodriguez, the hot prospect. He is in the black shoes. He's the taller fighter. Jesse Feliciano, the shorter man, in the white shoes. Feliciano said he thought that he could get to Delvin early. Delvin was knocked down by Chris Henry in the first round, also stunned by Alexis Division in the first round, but not the case tonight. Now over 6 minutes into the fight, and Rodriguez has looked good.
As game and tough and fun to watch as Feliciano is. It's early to say this, but I think he's made to order in some ways for a guy like Rodriguez. He's always coming forward. He's always in front of you. Not hard to find. And when you have an accurate puncher like Rodriguez, just what the doctor ordered. Yes, a game tough guy, and yes, he's going to try to wear down Rodriguez. But styles make fights. And the style of Feliciano walking in and being very easy to find, hard to miss, as the old timers would say. I don't know if he's going to get a chance to get the fight into the dimensions he wants to get and needs to get it into to wear down Rodriguez.
The boxing of Jesse Feliciano just left the building, by the way.
And again, look for the right hand as Feliciano takes all the chances and does some of Rodriguez's work for him by walking in. Look for the right uppercut and the straight right hand. You know, that jet lag you talked about earlier, Joe, with Feliciano coming from the other side of the country, coming in only the other day. That can hurt any fighter. But again, styles make fights. And in this case, it can be much more hurtful to a guy like Feliciano, who depends on profession or pressure, who depends on wearing a guy out, who depends on the late rounds. Jet lag will show itself late. It may take away some of the best fight or the best assets of Feliciano down the stretch.
And this is scheduled for 12 rounds. Delvin Rodriguez, by the way, has never gone past 8 rounds. He says, I have no fear. I train for a world title. Of course, Rodriguez doesn't go past 8 rounds because he's been knocking everybody out before 8 rounds.
Rodriguez's only loss was by split decision. Easily could be undefeated.
Feliciano caught both a left hand and a right uppercut in that sequence. but he's so game. We have learned that time and time again. Jesse Feliciano isn't going anywhere. Coming to the end of round number 3, Rodriguez and Feliciano. He has what accuracy from the 26-year-old Danbury, Connecticut, Delvin Rodriguez. Jesse Feliciano, by the way, in that 3rd round, he tried and worked hard. He actually outlanded Rodriguez 23-18, but as you saw, the more effective blows landed by Rodriguez.
You know, to touch on what you just said, Joe, what you saw, the more effective, cleaner blows by Rodriguez. And I take a moment to say what you haven't seen so far, and if you do, the night might end. You haven't seen the left hook behind the right hand of Rodriguez. The right hand has been landing like that. Now you have to look, if you're in the corner of Rodriguez, for that left hook to start to come behind it.
Well, we talk about Delvin Rodriguez as being one of these one-to-watch kind of fighters. Our studio guest analyst tonight very much on that list. It is Irish John Duddy. John, good to have you with us. That's a slip right there here at the 2-minute mark of round number 4. Okay. As a peer, give me your scouting report as to what you see from Delvin Rodriguez, John.
I think Delvin's shown a very experienced performance here. He's taking his time. He's not getting as excited as he's done in previous fights. He's using his jab, and I think that between that right hook and straight right, he's given Feliciano a lot of problems.
John, you're a good offensive fighter. You must love watching a guy like Rodriguez who does not waste much at all. Very efficient offensively. If there's anything that you'd probably add to it, you'd probably want to see him go to the body, a place that you like to go and your fans love to see you go.
Yes, definitely. I think that Feliciano's dangerous, and as you commented earlier on about fighters getting, trying to look out for the knockout blow, I think he's when I'm taking his time, he's able to pick off Feliciano, and he's slowly but surely, I think, breaking him up. And once he switches it to the body, I think that hopefully he could end the night. He could end it early for himself.
Irish John Duddy doing a great job. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks very much.
Joe, we talked about on the fight plan that the right hand would be there, we felt anyway, early and late for Rodriguez. It has been in there, or it has been there as you see it again, so far all night for Rodriguez. The key that we talked about was would the left hook come behind it. So far it hasn't. I believe that's the only thing missing. If I was in the corner, not that I could do a better job than Rodriguez's people, I certainly couldn't. But if I was in the corner, the one thing I would say is you land in the right hand, no problem. Put the left hook with it and see how he handles that.
Exactly what they've been training for, combinations. They feel that's the key to Delvin Rodriguez. Coming to the end of round number 4 on Friday Night Fights. We just heard from Irish John Duddy, our in-studio guest. How about Teddy's all-time greatest fighters with the Irish connection? Teddy?
Hey, John, how do you like that stable of mix, huh? Not too bad. Gene Tunney, one of the greatest light heavyweights of all time, of course, became heavyweight champion. Mickey Ward fought from middleweight all the way up to heavyweight. Jack Dempsey, John L. Sullivan, the original, the guy that started in a certain way bringing attention to this business when he used to be the bare-fisted champion, the last of the bare-fisted champion. Pretty good list of Irish fighters right there.
And a pretty good main event between a Dominican native and the son of 2 Puerto Rican immigrants. Jesse Feliciano in the white shoes. Delvin Rodriguez, the taller fighter, in the black shoes. Both men wouldn't give up the trunk colors. Both came in wearing red with the white trim.
But, again, what you see is what you get. Feliciano will continue coming forward. Rodriguez, in a very patient, efficient way, will sit back, allow Feliciano to do some of his work for him, come into range, and then look to take him apart, usually starting with right hands. And what he needs to do is start thinking about finishing with a left hook. Now Feliciano, who's behind in this fight, turns southpaw for a moment.
Let's look at just how far behind he is on Teddy's scorecard. A clean sweep through 4 rounds, 40-36.
You can see Feliciano, as he comes forward, Rodriguez giving him a little rope to hang himself, a little distance where he can get full leverage on his punches. You can see every once in a while Feliciano comes in 6 inches, Rodriguez goes back about 8 or 9, just to keep the distance where he has enough room. You can see right there, distance where he has enough room to explode his punches and to have a hole that Feliciano will create to let those punches come.
Feliciano scoring well here in the midst of this 5th round, now with a series of right hands. And you can see how Feliciano always willing to turn it on.
Rodriguez might want to start putting that left hook behind that right hand to start to do more than land one punch at a time on this very game Feliciano.
Keep in mind, Delvin Rodriguez has been buzzed before. He has made for a couple thrilling moments when we've seen him take a punch. Got up off the canvas against Chris Henry and scored 4 consecutive knockdowns. Neither man shy. Now on the inside, a clubbing right hand from Rodriguez. Feliciano inching his way closer. Rodriguez, 2 short chopping left hooks downward. Feliciano right back to the inside.
Feliciano forces you to hit him just to keep him off you. It's a matter of, do you hit him with 1 or do you hit him with 2 or 3?
Those right hands look to be on the kidney as they separate. Final moments of this 5th round. Good action between Jesse Feliciano and Delvin Rodriguez. Dominican native Delvin Rodriguez, new American citizen who loves to play the guitar and write romantic ballads. No love song here tonight against Jesse Feliciano. It's starting to get rough in there. Feliciano landed Rodriguez to the body in that 5th round. 12 connects to none. 27 to 23 overall. Round number 6 scheduled for 12.
In the last round, when we showed my graphic, my list of what I thought were the greatest Irish fighters of all time, I used a reference, Mick. In no way did I mean to offend anybody. Hopefully I didn't. I'm half Irish myself. It was said in a very affectionate, loving way. So hopefully nobody took offense to that term.
None taken here. Punch track numbers. You see the body work from Feliciano, the head work from Rodriguez, the right hands and the uppercut. Total punches, Feliciano up by 1.
Again, Feliciano, like the ocean, always coming in and attacking the shore. You can see Rodriguez trying to give himself a little distance, again, where he can create an opening, or better yet, Feliciano can create an opening by trying to get in, where Rodriguez can score with those accurate shots.
There's a left hook from Delvin Rodriguez. Comes back, left hook, right hand.
As I said earlier, Rodriguez is a good offensive fighter, and there's a reason why he is. Puts punches together well. He's accurate with his punches. His technique, his form is good, and he has a good mix of punches. A good repertoire, a good choice.
Right hand scores big from Rodriguez. That's his signature punch. Feliciano seems to have taken it well.
Again, what you need to see if you're in the corner of Rodriguez, the one thing that I would think that you'd want to ask of your fighter is to put the left hook with the right hand. You have a very game guy in front of you, and Feliciano, who's forcing you to hit him with right hands. Finish with the left hook. See how he handles 2 clean shots. We know he handles 1.
But this is what fight fans love from Feliciano. Exactly what you're seeing.
And Feliciano understands what his fight plan must be. Give him great credit for that. He must not linger on the outside. He can't handle it on the outside. The better man there is Rodriguez. He needs to get close, and he needs to take punishment to do that.
Good stuff there. A look back at how we arrived at this point. Delvin Rodriguez, big right uppercut early on. Then the right hand, time and time again. 3 in a row. He was in control of this fight. But Jesse Feliciano, tough, rugged, always trying to press the action and come forward, willing to trade with Rodriguez. And they went after it at the end of that 6th round, 59-55 on Teddy Atlas's scorecard. Delvin Rodriguez, he went back to the corner and he heard from trainer Lou Fusco, you're getting a little macho out there. That's what these two do.
Well, one of the ways or the body language that would, I think, confirm what Lou Fusco is telling his charge, Delvin Rodriguez, about him getting a little lax, a little macho, is he's starting to drop that left hand now more and more around the hip. And that's given an opportunity for Feliciano to close the gap and score with right hands of his own.
By the way, Feliciano has outlanded Rodriguez in 4 consecutive rounds. But you've seen how effective the scoring has been from Rodriguez when he does land that right hand.
And you can see the left hand, the low left hand of Rodriguez. He uses 2 left hands. One is when he shoots it from the upper chamber, from the shoulder position, the conventional way, where nothing's wasted. It comes straight out. There's no warning. There's no time loss. The other is when he likes to do that. Keep it down around the hip. Little time loss by the time he gets it up into the punching position. Time that Feliciano can use to close the gap and start to score. Again, Feliciano, give him credit, not only for his heart, but look, you're not going to make a Muhammad Ali out of a style guy like Feliciano. But he understands one thing as he turns southpaw for a second, Joe. He understands he cannot live on the outside. He has to get inside where he can start to get close. Rodriguez is not a great inside fighter where he can start to do some of his work and mix things up. The problem is how he gets inside without taking on too much damage. You can see right there, Feliciano knows that he needs to be in close. What he needs to do is get in close without eating too many right hands, or lefts for that matter. Now once in close, that is not what you want to see.
No, have to work rather than being separated.
Has to work. We already know he's not going to win on the outside. If Feliciano, when he does get inside, doesn't do a better job of punching than he did the last 2 times we just got a peek at him, it's going to be a long, long night.
That is a slip as Rodriguez was pushed back, and then possibly the left foot got tangled up also. Feliciano charging in, smothered his own left hand.
Haven't seen it yet, but Feliciano so aggressive when he does get inside, not shy to move around or bang around a little bit with that head.
Five rounds to go. Delvin Rodriguez, who's coming out of the blue corner with the black shoes, told us that Jesse Feliciano is the kind of guy who drags you into his fight and makes for a rough night. Will Feliciano be able to do just that as we start this 8th round? Rodriguez, one of the real hot, much talked about up-and-comers in the game, thanks to his string of knockout victories, most of them aired on our network. Uppercut, left hook from Rodriguez. Now tries to chase back Feliciano with a combination. Let's bring in Delvin Rodriguez's trainer, Lou Fusco. Lou, I heard you tell him after the last round, don't try too hard. Explain.
Well, he's trying to throw his right hand a little too hard. I think he's looking to knock this guy out. And all I want him to do is box. If he keeps his distance and boxes, he's got a fairly easy night. But if he lets Feliciano suck him into his game, then it's going to be a rough ending, a rough 4 rounds coming up.
Lou, it's Teddy. I agree with you to the point that your guy is a much better guy when there's distance. He's the better guy on the outside. For Feliciano to have any chance
to close this gap, and I have him with a big gap. He has to get in close. But the one thing that I would be looking for from your guy, he's been landing right hands all night long. Would you like to see him put a left
hook behind it? Absolutely.
You're going to get him to put a left hook with that right hand before the night's over?
Well, I'm trying. You know what? He's doing the best he can. And
there's a series of right hands from Feliciano. Watching it back to work. No, Rodriguez is in real bad shape. He goes down. What a turnaround.
See, that's the problem when you have a guy that's that tough. When you're catching him early with right hands, you want to put the left hook. With right hands, you want to put the left hook so this doesn't happen later on. Feliciano has been on the floor, or Rodriguez has been on the floor, and he's come off the floor to win. Let's see if he can do it again.
Can Feliciano pull off the upset here? Under 50 seconds to go. Rodriguez hurt badly, trying to punch back based on nothing but pure instinct. He's through the ropes almost.
Right now what Rodriguez needs to do is grab a hold of Feliciano, and he was not able to do that. In real bad shape here. But again, Feliciano or Rodriguez has been in bad shape before. He has been on the floor before, and he's come back. Maybe not tonight, as it looks like the referee has just signaled an end.
What a scene at Foxwoods. Jesse Feliciano has pulled off the upset. A come from behind knockout victory over one of the hottest rising stars in the sport. Feliciano does it.
We talked about the strengths of Rodriguez. A good offensive fighter, a good sharpshooter. If there were question marks about Rodriguez, the one was about his chin. He had been on the floor before. He had been shaken up several times, and you alluded to it earlier in fights before. That turned out to be his downfall here tonight with the very game Feliciano.
24-year-old Jesse Feliciano. He traveled in late Wednesday night from Vegas on a mission. Hasn't fought since last spring when he endured a brutal war against Alfonso Gomez and had a bad taste in his mouth with a draw as the final outcome. This didn't go to the judges. He determined it with his fists. Let's take a look back at the action from round number 8, knockdown number 1, Teddy.
It's the right hand over the left hand of Rodriguez. Rodriguez has a habit of sometimes leaving that left hand out there a little bit. He left it out. Now, all those punches couldn't have happened if it wasn't for the first right hand. Let's take a look at the second knockdown. Again, the right hand starts the problem, and Feliciano knows what to do. Stay on his man, keep his hands moving. Here's the end of the fight. Rodriguez hurt. Feliciano comes in with the right hand. The left hook really just pushes Rodriguez off balance and gives the referee an excuse and an opportunity to step in and stop the fight after a lot of punishment had been taken by Rodriguez.
Let's look at the Just for Men punch track fight recap, and you can see Feliciano. Remember, the numbers were fairly even. Then Feliciano pulled out because of that 8th round, 206 to 157. But we said it earlier, you could sort of see the wave of Feliciano coming and coming and coming. He outlanded Rodriguez in each of the last 6 rounds. For the official particulars of this stunner, let's send it up to the ring to Generous Joe Antonacci.
Boxing fans, the time, 2 minutes and 42 seconds of round number 8. Your winner by technical knockout and the new USBA welterweight champion, Jesse El Rayo Feliciano.
Good for Jesse Feliciano. He earned it. A TKO win.
How about a big
Rodriguez's streak is over. Jesse Feliciano, in impressive fashion, gets the 8th round TKO win.